box them in. How many do we have? I feel like we have extra chairs and we don't need all these chairs.
You'll be mom and I'll be daddy.
We have 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the lovely, the talented, the bewitching Arielle Kebbel to the stage.
Thanks, everybody. I'm so happy to be here, day 2. Thank you, Carina, for the lovely introduction.
Yeah.
I would like to throw it back to Carina because this is a little love fest going on, and say let's please give it up to one of the most amazing writers, creators, blondies behind Vampire Diaries, Originals, Legacies, Roswell, and now a new show coming on Amazon. She never stops. She's amazing, and she is like one of the heartbeats behind everyone on this show. Carina MacKenzie!
And then there are some other people. Y'all can come over.
Yeah, like, I don't know if you care about them, but whatever.
Sebastian Rochè, as we love to call him, the original daddy.
Oh! Who's next?
I thought I was the daddy.
No, I'm the zaddy.
Oh, you're the zaddy, yeah.
I don't know what that means, but
Do we have Miss Sara Canning? Grown-up that has ever lived.
It's gonna be muddy, but
Marguerite MacIntyre, get on up
here. Originals writer, Vampire Academy showrunner.
Badass blondie. Look at all these badass blondes. Wherever you want.
Susan Walters. One of the first people that I met on this show who has been so lovely to me all the whole time, Mr. Rob Pralgo, the mayor.
Is that everybody?
Yeah, that's everybody.
Great.
I'm checking my list. I'm like, did we forget
Great.
parents?
Nailed it.
Welcome. Hi, everyone, y'all.
Dave's
So cool. I feel like we get to like grill the grown-ups, and
It's the AARP crowd.
But is it weird that we're also grown-ups now?
I know, I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I didn't consent to growing up.
Like, we all started when we were kids. How's everyone feeling today? What are you excited about, day 2? Woo! Somebody, what are you... Paul, of course. All right, well, he's not up here, so can we talk about these beautiful people?
Did Paul, tell the truth, did Paul pay you to say that? Because I'll pay you more.
Yeah. She will.
Welcome to the panel, guys. So Arielle and I were just having a quick chat backstage. And this whole weekend, I feel like we've been talking so much about how much we've all been through together as a group, how much things have changed, sometimes for the better, sometimes for worse. We've got like babies born in the Vampire Diaries family now. We've got people going on to like spectacular things. And I thought I would ask you, as the proud parental figures, about what you are proud of the other cast members that you've seen. What has, as the time marches on. I know that I watch people grow up and feel so much warmth in my heart, and I'm sure you guys do too. Or not. Maybe not. Maybe everybody just stopped.
Everyone's actually cold-blooded, they're vampires.
yeah, no one cares about anyone. No, I can turn that right back on Carina.
No, I was.
Yes. No, but really, I'm proud of everybody. Everybody's doing great. But one of the stories I love to kind of share, we kind of always talk about, is that Carina was on set interviewing some of us. Carina interviewed me when I like just found out that Jenna was gonna die.
Like minutes later, they were like,
Yeah,
come sit in front of Carina's GoPro camera.
and I was sort of like, I still feel bad about it. I was like, hi Carina. Like, I think I was just like, what are we doing? What's happening? And it's been so amazing to watch your career. Like really,
Agreed.
it's been incredible.
And now here I am, back interviewing.
And now here you are,
Come along.
back interviewing these idiots.
Good to be home.
But from a different seat.
But also, I would say, you know, to watch how many of the actors took on episodes to direct has been fantastic. I mean, this is such a broad, silly answer, but to see what everybody's gone on to do since has been quite something. And I'm sure you guys agree, like, I know a lot of you are probably somewhat as invested in the other work that all the actors have been doing, maybe not as much as why
You
we're
know
all
what?
here.
I remember the day that you found out because somehow I was there and I was like, why am I here in the middle of this? I was like, no, I need to go away. This is the thing. And I just remember you were like, I just re-signed my lease for my apartment.
I talked about that yesterday.
I was literally like 2 days before, I was like, I gotta get out of that apartment now. Like, it was just so
It
funny.
was like, that's the actor's life. You're like, oh my God, never sign a lease.
Did you get out of your lease? Now I'm invested in this. Yeah, okay, thank God.
It's never gonna end. Well, I can go on too. I can say proudness. I'm proud of, like, I'm not a parent. I just play one on TV. So I don't have, except for to my dog. So I'm so deeply,
That counts. That counts.
Here.
but I'm so deeply impressed by great parental. I see these people grow and have children and be good parents and care and raise good humans. And I think everything else that we do is secondary to that. So when I see that, which I've seen, and I've seen everybody take care of each other and all of that, I'm so proud and it's so impressive. But yeah, I'm also going to throw it back on Carina because Carina was in the originals, which was my first writer's room. She was the originals. She was the writer's assistant. So now she's all fancy-pantsy, got her Amazon show, just leaving everybody in the dust.
I promise this is not why I asked this question. I just wanted to talk about how proud I am of Candace King, who has been like marching the Tennessee Capitol the last few weeks and really like standing up for something important to her. And you know, she's a parent to two beautiful girls, and she's a step parent kind of to two more beautiful girls. And it's been a joy. So I can go on and on about everybody. Trevino is also one of the best humans I know, and Paul and Nina have a bourbon company, so you know.
I'm really proud of Marguerite, Marguerite, MacIntyre. That's in French. Because I remember Marguerite, you know, being an actress and then starting to write on the show, and then she became, you know, a full-fledged writer, and that's not easy, and it's really an unbelievable accomplishment. And then becoming a showrunner and writer on a show on a major network, I think that's really something to be celebrated.
It is.
Always being unbelievably nice.
Yes.
I mean, all of us, we never actually met because I was being dastardly somewhere else, but Marguerite, you know.
We were
we got
talking earlier because Marguerite was actually the first person I met on Vampire Diaries when I flew in to be Lexi on the episode I was introduced and murdered.
And yet here you are all these years later.
Feels good to be home.
So memorable.
You know?
So many of us were murdered.
But everyone.
I was gonna say,
That's the
we
thing
have
about this show, you know?
They just plunged this really weird stake into my heart. That
We were
stake.
all murdered.
Everyone died. Marguerite was not. Sharon Forbes was not murdered.
I was
Sharon
not murdered.
Forbes died a tragic natural death.
Yeah.
And
Which
we
is-
never
which is-
got to see what was in her letter.
Which is odd if you think about it. But you guys should know she's one of the nicest human beings. I felt such a warm welcome. We happen to share a van together. And I was just telling her before this panel, coming here today, I haven't seen you in forever. And the first thing I thought of all these years later was like, oh my God, I loved our van ride. We just couldn't stop talking. The van driver was like, oh my God, who are these two blondes? Get them out of here. But we just had this love fest, and I was just so grateful because, and I feel, and you're another one who's now been behind the scenes, so I feel like I watch you and I'm proud. And I'm like, wow, you were my introduction to the show, and here you are behind the scenes now, and it's great. So, yeah, everybody's just, there's no assholes, you know? It's great. It's great.
We just play one on
Did
TV.
Paul Wesley pay you to say that?
Actually, if you want to know the truth, Paul Wesley declined my airdrop earlier, and I put that on my Instagram. So that's the truth about Paul Wesley.
I'm not coming, guys. No way. That's me playing Paul.
Put a little more Jersey into it. Sorry, I have notes.
Yeah, I gotta be more grumpy. What the fuck, man? And Ian's like, I love you all.
That's really good. That's like spot on.
That's true. That's true. Oh my God, that's amazing. I asked this question yesterday with Susan and Rob, but I thought it was so special I wanted to bring it around again today, talking about who we're proud of and, you know, watching people grow and evolve. On set, you know, we've become family, as you can tell, and all these years later, certain things resonate. And I always wonder, because it's kind of like looking back on high school, like, oh, the things I would have done, or I would have told this person this, or, you know, is there something looking back on it that you would have either done differently, or is there like a cast member that you always wanted to say something of how much this one thing impacted you, but you never got to, or on the show, yeah?
Yeah, I didn't want to die.
Neither did I.
Nobody wanted to die. No, the thing I would have loved, I'll take over, sorry. The thing I would have loved is to interact more with my other children. I mean, I interacted wonderfully with Joseph. It was really a wonderful relationship that we had together, but I would have loved, well, you know what I mean, off screen. I was a good dad.
They were spectacular together.
I was
like
tough, but you know.
Just whenever you showed up, I just like. We all know Joe's just a terrible actor, and you would show up and just really elevate his performance. No, it was like watching these two masters at their craft just kind of dare each other to be fucking better every line, and it was really. It was my first episode ever. Was a Michael episode, and it was just spectacular to watch. I was like, can this guy say my words all of the time?
It was a real pleasure working with Joseph. But I would have loved to have done more scenes with Daniel and
Claire.
With Claire. Yes, Claire. I had very few scenes. And of course, Freya. I didn't really get to have many scenes with Freya because I was skewered by that white oat steak with Danish icing on it. I always wondered what the icing on it looked like a Danish to me. That white oat, that terrifying.
I really thought it looked like something else.
What's the icing for on it?
I thought it was a vein. I want to ask, honestly, I keep hitting my teeth behind. They're new teeth, that's a problem. Thank you. You guys all did have the honor of like spectacular, memorable deaths on this show.
Loves my death, actually.
Can you talk a little bit, each of you, about, I mean, Marguerite, you kind of got a couple of like, you got to lead up really, it wasn't like a staking or anything, but the rest of you had very dramatic, not that it wasn't dramatic, it was, I cried. I'm writing a funeral episode on another thing right now, and I'm like, it just has to be half as good as Sheriff Porter's funeral. But yeah, I'd love to hear about the experience of that like death scene shooting.
Loved your death. Tell about your death.
I did. I was relieved. I wasn't relieved to die, but I was relieved about the nature of my death because we had just done a scene at some point where there was a guy hanging from a tree or something a couple episodes earlier, and I thought, oh good Lord, please don't make me naked hanging from a tree with like the whole town watching me die. I mean, I knew I was going to die before I read the script. And when I read that I drowned in private with Joseph, I was like, okay, this I can get behind. I mean, it's going to be me and him. He's a very committed actor. This is going to work out, and I was really relieved not to be naked in front of the whole town or something.
I mean, yeah, I'd be relieved too.
Does that make sense? Yeah. Don't you remember we had somebody hanging from a tree at one point? I went,
naked?
Oh, no, maybe they weren't naked, but that
sounds like the Chris Hemsworth story.
I was just disappointed I didn't die naked hanging from a tree. I think that would have been just as nice.
Die
As pale as I am, I'm striking.
The Georgia heat.
Yeah, sweating a little bit. A bit nice. It was just hot.
Yeah.
Fire was hot. I remember I said to the stunt guy, I go, it's a little hot. And he goes, stop being a baby. And I was like, maybe I'm a baby. And then I was like, come here, sit down for a second. He goes, shit, that's hot. I was like, yeah, it's hot. So they lowered a little bit. It was fine. It's fire.
It's fire.
It's hot.
Oh my God, he's local Ohio.
So I remember so some guy breaks my neck, and I'm looking over at Ian, and he's like, I go, you can help me, asshole. You can help me. Save me. He's like, I can't really help you. I'll set you on fire. Screw you, Ian. And they brought me to a crisp. It was really fun, though. It was a fun death.
Sarah did not have fun. She was just thinking about her lease.
I was just thinking about my lease, and I was like, how am I going to move that furniture 7,000 miles back to Canada? No, I realized we both had intimate moments with Joseph Morgan. Yeah, oh yeah, real intimately.
Many people would
How'd
love
you do
that.
it?
He was like very dapper before he staked me to death. But he's such
Started with me too.
I got staked as well, yeah. But he's so great that you're kind of like, well, kill me, baby, sure.
Suck it to me, baby, yeah.
It's true, he looks at you with those beautiful blue eyes. He's like, Father, He's so beautiful. He's so beautifully emotional, and so it's true. You're like, okay, I'll die. Okay, fine, Joe. He's just so good, so good.
Marguerite, I know a little bit about the sort of behind-the-scenes decision of how Sheriff Forbes was going to go, but can you talk about that a little bit? Because I'm sure you weren't like surprised to get a script.
No, also Julie Plec had said for years, she's like, you're on deck. Like every season, I'm like, when am I gonna die? I was supposed to last like 3 or 5 episodes for the entire ever. So I was always like, oh look, I'm still in. This is amazing.
We just really needed her in the originals writers' room. We're like, time to go, Julie, let's go.
Oh, and
bring her back from Atlanta.
Karina, I was just telling about how when I was shooting, I was writing on originals while I was dying as Sheriff Forbes, and so I had to be in the room in LA. So we Skyped, didn't have Zoom then, I was Skyping into the room. I was like between shooting scenes, and so I jumped onto a Skype to kind of keep up with the room. And Karina goes, oh. Like, I'm like, hi, well, hello to you too. And she's like, I was like, what's going on? And I forgot I was wearing like a hospital gown, and
She was all pale.
purple under my eyes, and she's like, Sheriff.
I kept a framed photo of Sheriff Forbes in uniform on my desk all 5 years I was on the originals.
That's amazing.
There was love. But no, by the time, here's what I loved about it, and I've said this before, is that, you know, there was a lot of death in the show, and death is a vampire show. People die, and death can become very cheap. And so what was meaningful is to use this death that was real, that there was no going back. She wasn't going to be back alive again. She was dead, and that was how it was going to be. And everybody had to kind of handle it, and how it kind of worked on all the characters differently, especially obviously Candace. Actually Caroline. And I thought that was sort of beautifully done. Of course, my deathbed scene also had a handsome man with big eyes looking at me. And yes, my husband was on set, but that's not who I'm talking about. Sorry, Carrie.
Perks. We're going to have you guys, if you guys have questions, if you can line up kind of on either side here. Don't block people's view, but like off to the side where you see everybody in the t-shirts. And we're going to get to some of your questions in a bit. But
Cutie.
I did want to add, this was just percolating in my head. Everybody was talking about me, but Arielle Kebbel went from like sadly making Dean's steak on Gilmore Girls while he was cheating on her to being Lara Croft. So, I mean, talking about people that we're proud of, I just wanted to throw that out there to you.
Yeah. You're the best.
Yeah, do you have more cues before we jump to the...
Do I have more, what?
I just asked the last question. It's your turn to ask a question.
Oh, okay. Gosh. All right, guys.
Maybe you should have sat next to me.
I know. I'm like, can you whisper in my ear? We had this all planned out, guys. Seriously.
We did not.
Yeah. Let me see. Here's a question. It's gonna bring it down a minute, but I just wanted to say, no, I shouldn't. No, never mind. No. Okay, I will. I think it's important. Okay, as people are lining up, just quickly, and I asked this yesterday too, but we've all been through so much, and it's incredible that we're all sitting here together and feeling the energy of you all. And I know the staff, if we could just give a round of applause to the staff. They are working so hard.
So many volunteers too.
So many
It's a
volunteers.
hard job. It is very hard to make sure Paul Wesley is happy.
Exactly. And so just to take a moment to really recognize, yep, there you go, that we've all been through so much, and I think now more than ever, supporting each other, checking in about our mental health, like how do we take care of each other in this new world? Like, I feel like we're just all trying to forget that COVID and all this crazy shit happened, but it didn't, and we got through it together. And I think we just need to, support each other, check in with each other, make friends here, connect, see how you're doing, how's your mental health, how are you taking care of yourself, because we can't just forget about it. We have to support each other and move forward. So
That's such a good question. How do you take care of yourself?
yeah,
I'm just gonna wrap up her speech.
Great.
How do you take care of yourself?
right, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good one.
We don't.
Flip it on me. I am very passionate about wild horse rescue. I'm on the board of an organization called Skydog Sanctuary. A lot of people don't know this, but our government rounds up horses every day and sends them to slaughter. The cattle industry is $1 billion industry. We used to have 2 million wild horses. We now have 50,000. I could go on and on and on, but the point is I rescued a wild Mustang recently from slaughter, and when I'm in New York, that's not why I said this, but how do I take care of myself is when I work from the barn now. I'm writing and producing, and I do it from the barn, and I take care of her, and putting my energy on something that is so wild, and I have to observe instincts and in a lot of ways human behavior. It's teaching me so much, and it's really good for my mental health, so I'm very grateful for this horse.
The ultimate horse girl.
What about you?
I don't save anything. I'm terrible. I'm just like home. But what I will say is I do check in with friends. I'd say my thing is that I'm the one people call when they need something, and I'd say yes. Just say yes, yes, yes. Try to get some sleep, which is really hard. And being outside is my best thing. It's just anytime I'm outside, on a hike, on a walk, outside, trees, grass, life, that's everything to me.
Me, yes.
Sebastian goes to Barcelona Wine Bar in Inman Park.
Yes, it was fun. It was very fun. I take care of myself, actually. For me, I find great solace in doing very arduous and risky sports. So I love, rock climbing, and I'm really, really into rock climbing. I find it's
Cliff
for
jumping
me,
like this water bottle's about to.
Sorry, thank you so much, Mayor.
You got it.
Lovely. For me, the outdoors are really my escape. So I'm really into mountain climbing and rock climbing and challenging myself. Actually, I really enjoy that enormously. I won't go base diving because there's a base jumping. I mean, there's a 28% chance of dying, so I won't do that.
Is that the same as cliff diving?
Base jumping is when you dive off a cliff with your parachute, and you glide, and then you open it at the last minute. Super fun. But I do find, also I do find great solace in writing. Actually, I've been writing.
Enough. You have enough talent. Stop.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's it. Many other things.
Don't take my job.
I know. I was like, there's none left.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm tired of these actors who are becoming good writers. It's very stressful for me.
Hello, Taylor.
What about you, Sarah?
Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
Also outdoors. I'll keep it really brief. Also outdoors, but I think as Arielle and Marguerite were saying, like, I think the key is in other people, the people who are, you know, close to us. I was like working with a group of young actors recently, and it was also like the scene analysis stuff we were doing. It's like, God, if you just make it about anything else other than yourself as an actor, that's the answer. Like, the answer is in your scene partner or in the story, you know. So I feel like that's a good, that crosses over to life, I think the answer, of course, it's important to, you know, go inward, you know, and spend time, like truly time with yourself. But I think it's, the reflection is often in the people in our lives. And yeah, like really taking good care of those relationships.
Well said.
To kind of continue with that, I think what you know, I'm so great, like animal rescue and people rescue and everything.
You're also a horse gal.
Yeah, it's being of service, and sometimes like that's even. I live in a neighborhood with a lot of people who live alone, and just saying hi, and all of a sudden somebody's chatting with you about their dog, and you give to people that way, and it's kind of what she was saying about communicating, you know, communicating and connecting with other people. I think that's really good for all of us, and I got out. I'm extroverted, but I definitely got out of the habit of that during COVID. Not stopping and talking to people or chatting with people or anything.
You realize that we took it for granted a little bit.
Yeah.
When it was taken away.
And then all of a sudden you're like, oh. And then as far as physically, I love that you're a mountain climber. I'm a mountain biker. Yeah, I like to, and I love to.
She's so badass.
Yeah,
That's so badass.
I love to try to inspire women who don't think they can do this because it seems scary to do what they can do. And I'm in a group of like 20 women my age, and we're pretty badass. Like,
Adopted this little puppy. This is Stash. I'm gonna sit over there. Stash is great. He's a mush. He's a little bulldog with scoliosis and dwarfism, and all he does is chew on me, and he's amazing. So he gets me through the pandemic. I would have brought him here today, but he's not certified.
Is your mic not working?
Is it not working? Oh shit! Did anybody hear that?
You weren't using it. I was like, he's a plane in the back of the room.
Damn it.
Wow.
Anyway, it's about my dog. 2 years ago, I moved my father, who turned 82 years old recently. He moved to LA to be an actor when he was in his mid-30s, when my parents split. His life got distracted. He was a martial artist, a teacher. He retired, found himself single at 80 right after the pandemic. I dragged his ass here. We got him an agent with People's Store. 3 months later, 2 weeks later, he was working with Benicio del Toro on a movie. And he has continued to work, and now he's a pain in the ass. I'm basically his manager now. I basically adopted my dad, and now I'm his manager. And,
Talk about
I'm
pay
sure
it
he's
forward.
calling me right now going, well, how's my next audition? So that's how I get through the pandemic.
I go to a lot of therapy.
Yes, and you have 2 amazing dogs.
They should also be in therapy. They have to hear a lot. No, I work really, really hard, and I work a lot. So I you know, I'm being facetious, but like, I have to pause and go to therapy once a week, sometimes twice a week, depending on how I'm doing. And I remember when I started going to therapy when I was a teenager, I was like super embarrassed about it. Like, wanted to sneak up the side in case anyone I knew was in there, which by the way would have meant that they were also in therapy. But now I'm talk about it whenever I can, because I think it's really important, and it's made me like myself better. It's made me a better friend, sister, daughter, boss, girlfriend sometimes.
I also think it's amazing that you were going to therapy in high school, you said?
Not by choice.
No, but that's amazing.
My parents' divorce was messy. They were like, that one, the court was like, that one needs to go to therapy. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I am a writer. Woohoo! We are going to turn it over to you guys, and one by one, kind of have you come up and ask your questions.
Thank you everyone for sharing. Yeah.
I feel like this was a really special panel. My heart feels real warm.
Yeah.
Hi. What's your question?
My question is, since you're done with the show, what are you guys gonna do now?
Great question. Also, how old are you?
8.
What's your name?
Paige.
Paige, I see a big future for you, and I love your Crocs.
Thank you.
Yes.
What you doing now, y'all?
I've been,
Sebastian is on a great show.
yes, I'm very lucky to will. Thank you, the 2 people who saw it. I kind of willed myself into the Taylor Sheridan universe. I'm doing a show called 1923, which has really been a blessing because I've been wanting to be part of that universe for a long time. Been a fan of Taylor Sheridan's writing for a long time, and I have the honor of playing the most despicable character I've ever played in my life.
I mean, you do have a knack for playing various kinds of terrible fathers.
Yes, I know, I do, yeah. I don't know what it is about me, because in life I'm a pretty jovial, happy-go-lucky character, as most of you have seen. But no, it's actually really an honor. I mean, the cast of that series is just awe-inspiring, and it's just an unbelievable pleasure going to work every day, and it's been an extraordinary. It's like shooting a movie in 8 parts, really, and I'm I feel very blessed. It's been a great road. So yeah, that's where I am, and we're going to go into season 2. Yes.
My name is Alessandra. This is a question for like everyone. But for you who are playing like a parental figure, how did it have like knowing that the parents were gonna die and leave behind like Carina, Caroline, and like behind, and they had to fend for themselves after the parents died? How did it feel having that kind of experience?
That's a really good question.
That's a beautiful, beautiful question. I feel when Sheriff Forbes died on the show, I got a lot of people, a lot of fans would reach out and say, this is really important to me because I may have lost a parent, or maybe not a parent, but someone close to me. And so it moved people to see that kind of story told the way we told it, with a lot of love and with a lot of support. And the whole idea was that Caroline would know not only that Sheriff Forbes would love her mother would love her through space and time, but that she would be supported by the people that remained. When she's at her mother's bedside, she's not alone. She's standing there with all the people who love her and are going to continue to love her and support her through her life. And so I think that was one of the beautiful things about how the show showed it, and I think that's what's true in life, and if it should be true in life, and I hope it is for people who have to experience that.
I love you. What a beautiful human, and great question.
I'm gonna cry.
I don't think anyone else dare touch that.
I think that's the answer.
That's the answer.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You've had great questions this whole last couple days, Alessandra.
Hi, my name is Amber. My question is for Marguerite. What was your favorite part about being Caroline's mom?
I can tell you what was not my favorite part. I took a lot of heat for the whole Jeremy situation. I just want you to know, I didn't mean it. I swear I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I really didn't mean it.
I was like mad at her for real from
No,
the...
she was. She was a little chilly. This woman was a little chilly for a while. I was like, hey, I'm an actor.
She's like, there's a script, Carina. You really should know this.
You know better. But what was great about playing Caroline's mom is obviously I had a perfect actress and friend and darling person to play it with, which was Miss Candace King. And I just loved her, and we just were good. Like, it felt like I had a great scene partner, and she's just wonderful, and I loved her. And I loved that complication of that relationship. I thought it was so important to show the struggle and then and that love won at the end of the day. Like she found a way to accept her daughter no matter what, even when it pushed the hardest button for her that there was to be pushed. So I loved what the storyline was, and I really liked doing anything with Candace on screen or at all.
I love seeing guys here. Hi.
Hi, how you doing? My name is Farouk. I have a million questions for all of you, but first I want to thank the writers of this series.
Hell yeah.
For watching.
Marguerite. I travel a lot for my job, and I was going through a separation, and I've always been into the supernatural things, and this is one of the things that I was able to bond with my daughter with, and
That's so special. Thank you so much. That's the kind of reason why we do it. So.
Is she here?
she's probably hiding funerals. Everything is cringe. I guess my top question would be for Arielle. I've moved around a lot growing up, so I've never had that super ride or die close friend. I was wondering if there was some sort of inspiration in your own life to help you dig into that character. Because
Thank you for sharing so honestly, and I'm like so grateful that the show bonded you with your daughter. Fucks. Fuck you, Paul. I'm just kidding. Let me really, I think the truth is I always saw the Paul thing as like a brother-sister. And I do have dear friends in my life, and in a lot of ways they feel like family, and I feel very fortunate for that. But do you have any siblings? Too many. Okay.
I'm number 8 out of 9.
Woo! Wow. Are you close to any of them?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah. Spoken like a true sibling.
Well, we're a family full of clowns, and you constantly get caught up in some sort of prank or shenanigans of some sort.
Yeah. So I think for me, I love my best friends, but I saw the Paul thing as like brother-sister. It's like this unspoken, we're just bonded in a way that family would be, but we happen to not be, if that makes sense. And I have a little brother, and growing up we were best friends, and I was a totally bad influence. We would like throw water balloons off the balcony in LA and like hit people and like laugh and run away, and I was an adult at the time, so whoops, and then he and I really went separate ways, and we haven't spoken in a long time, and so I felt like the Paul thing was kind of my way of connecting. Yeah, so thank you for your question.
Thank you.
I did not think we were going to be crying in the club tonight. Thank you so much for...
Hi, my name is Amber. My question's actually for Sebastian. So besides the TVD universe, my other favorite show is Supernatural. I would have to say, so what was it like working on like the Supernatural set, and if you had to pick, would you rather be the angel or the vampire?
Trick question. No, I'll tell you frankly, it was a delight to work on both sets. It was a totally different character, and it was, Jared and Jensen had been doing the show for a long time, and it was a very funny, jokey set to be on. Not that it wasn't on the Vampire Diaries or the originals.
No,
but
I've been on the Supernatural set. It was more fun up there.
You know them very well, yeah. Yeah, you would have, Jared farting before every... It would be roll sound.
Wait, is that real? He did not do that on Gilmore Girls.
He didn't do that again.
He
No.
grew gas through the years.
Oh my God,
He did not do
Karen,
that.
yes. So you'd have to go, you'd have to act through wafts of sulfurous smells. But I mean, it was a true delight working with him, and the character that I played was very close to me at the time. I derived a lot of the character on me, and he was sort of this debonair, decadent, fun character. Whereas I had an unbelievable amount of fun as playing Michael. Michael was a really special character in the sense that I found so many flaws in the character. Rage always comes from pain and from something you haven't dealt with. And that's where I started with the character. It wasn't only rage and disdain and horror. It was someone who was completely broken and actually, working with Joseph, I felt we worked so well together. There was such, as Carina said, there was so much dedication on Paul.
Fuck off, Sebastian.
No, I mean, there was so much dedication on Joe's part. We tried to raise each other's level, and we worked very, very hard. So I loved both, but I loved the complexity of Michael because he was so multidimensional. Even though it appeared that he was this cruel entity, it was much more than that. And that's what always interests me with broken characters who are, quote unquote bad guys. They're not truly bad guys. They're broken people. So yeah. In terms of challenge in acting, Michael was really delicious for me. It was really.
So we win in terms of acting challenges, and Supernatural wins in terms of smelling farts.
It was.
You guys decide which sounds like
fun. Playing Balthazar was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
I got it. For those of you guys who don't know, his character on Supernatural, there's a whole episode where the problem that they have to tackle is that this angel hates the Celine Dion song, so goes back in time and unsinks the Titanic, and then they're in their present day. They don't know that's happened. They've never heard of the Titanic. It's just some ship that is, but the descendants of these people are dying, and they got to figure it out. I talk about this episode of TV so much because they don't make them like that anymore, because they don't do these big 22 episode seasons where you get to be like, fuck it, let's just do some crazy shit for a minute. And I'll never forget it. It's so fun.
Yeah, who unsinks the Titanic?
It was yeah.
Because they don't like the song, not because they're like, let me save all these people, but he's like, I can't listen to that song anymore.
I hate that.
Yeah.
And were you like, by the way, he could have fit on the door?
Okay, next question. Thank you so much.
This is a question for everyone. Who is the hardest death that you had to watch?
The hardest death that we had to watch.
Kayla Ewell's.
Oh, agreed.
Yes, I agree.
Unanimous.
Yeah.
It was hard to lose Kayla because it was early and she's wonderful, and that character, she got to do some really fun thing. We were talking early. Who's we? We were talking about episode 6. Was it when she's jumping on the bed?
I still remember that episode. My husband and I were watching it. We were watching it, and I had shot the show, but it hadn't come on the air. And I'm like, oh my God, this is one of the best episodes of television I've ever seen. And it was Vicky and Damon jumping on the bed, and it was early, and it was. I still think about. We were talking about it today.
I wasn't there when Kayla died, so mine was Josh, because it was the first one that I was the first big death that I was there for. Josh on the originals, no, Aiden on the originals, Aiden, and I was just so sad to have a friend be leaving set, and then it's so funny because down the road I lost all compassion. I was like, all right, bye, see you at the bar. But it was really hard at the beginning. It's surprisingly an emotional decision in the writer's room to let somebody go.
But also to that, you and Julie and Marguerite now too, are some of the few people, well, I don't want to say few, but you have such a special bond with the actors, across the board. And that is unique to you all. So I think like when you're like, yeah, I'll see you at the bar, that's also a testament to you making friends with everyone. Not just that everyone likes to go to the bar, but it really is. I mean, like we've all been on a shit ton of TV since then and before, and you don't, you know, it's a different experience, a great experience, but this show in particular, and these three, Vampire Diaries, Originals, and Legacies, everybody still stays in touch. Everybody hangs out. That is so rare, and it really is
Someone asked me yesterday who I was excited to see here, and I was like, I honestly see them all the time. Like, we're in touch. I'm liking all the Instagram photos. Like, I'm sending their kids Christmas presents.
Yeah, so that's a big deal. Anyway.
Hi, my name is Amelie. I'm from Montreal, Canada.
Yeah!
Yes! I've been watching this show since I'm 8 and now I'm 19, so it's really important for me to be here. And my question is for Papa Original, but it's for all of you, but I'll ask it in French. Est-ce que ça t'est déjà arrivé d'être comme hors du studio et d'avoir comme l'impression d'être encore en caractère?
What, translate for us?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna,
feeling left out.
Bien sûr, écoute.
We're not as cool.
I'm going to translate. She asked if it happened when I left the studio. I was still in character. I'll answer in English because most people speak English here. Actually, no. It's with me. Actually, I'm not one of these actors who stays in character as soon as we yell cut, unless we're doing a unbelievably emotional scene. I switch off pretty quickly. Yeah, it's something that doesn't really say. The only time where it stayed with me was when I was doing an episode of the show I'm doing now, 1923, where I had to do a horrific scene where I literally balked when I read the scene. I thought, I don't know if I can do this. That's the only time I wasn't still in character. I was just emotionally drained afterwards. It can happen that we're emotionally drained, I think, after some scenes. You know, it doesn't mean that we're still in character. It's just, it took a lot out of us.
You didn't call the people around you boy all the time?
No, everyone asks me to go, boy, you know. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, merci beaucoup.
My name is Jessica from Chicago. I'm here with my 3 daughters, and we all adore you. And we watched the last episode in the square and cried our eyes out. But as you know, you guys are all very beautiful. But for the women, do you have any beauty tips? I'm fresh into my 40s, and I need some help here. But you guys are all, your skin is beautiful. You look amazing. Beauty tips.
You're beautiful.
Sarah's tip is that she's 12 years old.
I was a toddler when I was playing Angela.
Especially Angela.
Well, you stumped us.
Drink a lot of water.
Drink a lot of water.
Oh, yeah, but come on, let's give her some.
Wear sunscreen.
Drink a lot of water.
I don't know.
That's true.
Sunscreen.
That's true.
You young women.
Sunscreen, that's true.
Not only sunscreen on your face, but I hate to point it out, sunscreen on your necks.
And your hands.
And, I just got
hands is the tell.
So, yes, I wear sunscreen. And you know what? And know that I'm trying to tell myself that, you know, sometimes it's better to look a little older than weird, okay? So,
Yes! Yeah!
so that's weird.
I want you to know something. I'm just going to out Daniel Gillies right now. He was talking about how gorgeous you were yesterday.
Aw,
He really was, and we were talking about how you're just like you're stunning and you're like naturally beautiful, and you can tell that, and we so love you for that.
Because in this industry, generally when people are my age, they don't look as much like themselves as they used to, and it's a struggle. But I have to say, I also see the other side of it where, I mean, somebody's got to play the grandmas, and if I'm that age, then why not me, right? And well, anyway. Yeah, no, that's our slogan. It's better to look old and weird. Because I have allowed myself to look a little weird, trying things here and there. I'm not gonna act like I'm a saint, but no, it's better to be comfortable with yourself.
Thank you.
And wear sunscreen, especially on your neck.
And tell your girls, fuck Instagram filters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
definitely. Hi, guys.
Hi. I'm Gretchen, so my question is for Marguerite. If I love anything more than Vampire Diaries, it's Vampire Academy. So I've been a fan of the books for 14 years, and so thank you for finally doing Vampire Academy justice for us. And I wanted to know what it was like to team up with Julie again on something else besides Vampire Diaries.
Okay, first off, thank you so much. Our little show, Vampire Academy, that we shot in Spain and that we gave all the
During the
love
pandemic,
to,
like,
we
what a feat.
it's such a beautiful world, and we fought so hard, and it's not quite dead yet, but it feels like, oh, you guys, I keep wanting to say, we're trying, but there's stuff we can't say. So all I can say is, thank you for loving it. I loved doing it. It was very different and new for me, this particular experience with Julie. Part of it was we were shooting abroad, we were shooting during COVID. I hadn't been a showrunner before, so that was like new for me, but I had come up all the way, so there were no surprises, thank heavens. What I loved about it was I love set. So beyond the writing, I got to just sort of like be there and kind of hover and have all the fun in the world and kind of like just really experience it from every angle. As far as for me and Julie, I mean, I don't think there's any surprises. She and I have known each other since Kyle XY in 2005. So like we know each other really well. We were roommates too. We were like, oh, we'll save money. We'll just get a place together. And they were like, what?
I lived with her too when we did the Roswell pilot. It was great.
Just like, why?
Like, come home at 4 in the morning, like, you want to have a glass of wine?
Oh yeah.
I want to have a glass of wine.
Beer o'clock in Spain. So yeah, no, but it was great. It was great. It was a challenge, but I'm very happy to hear a little Vampire Academy love. Thank you.
We all loved it. Thank you.
Can I just say that I FaceTimed Gretchen and we both cried when we saw that it was canceled. So, thank you. We did too. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Hi.
Vampires are never fully dead. I don't know.
My question is for Arielle, and me and my sisters love you, and I wanted to ask how it feels to be a fan favorite, even though you were only in like a few episodes.
Thank you. What's your name?
Taylor.
Taylor. I'm sorry if you said that. I was so blown away by your. I don't know. I was. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Feels fucking great. No. I was saying that. I was saying this earlier in the meet and greet, and she was there. That Lexi lives because of you all, and that is no joke. I always knew I was signing on for one episode, and I was so excited for this one episode because I saw what I got to do, and I was like, oh my god, we're gonna have so much fun. And again, going back to the kind of brother thing, I was like, I get to poke fun at him, we get to have fun, we have our serious moments. It was like such a fun arc. And at the time, we even really worked behind the scenes to like make Lexi different, like the long blonde hair, the purple lips versus the red lips. Like we just wanted to do everything we could to make her stand out in this short amount of time that we had. And then I thought that was it. It really wasn't until the show aired and Julie told me that her parents told her it was a mistake to kill me.
I wrote an article in the LA Times about it.
You did? Mm-hmm. Shut up.
When that episode aired.
What did it say?
I'm sure it's available. I'll find it for you.
Okay, anyways, I love you. Okay, cool.
It was just like, why are they killing her off? Like, what? We just got her.
So that's just to say that it is one of the characters to date that has impacted me the most, and it will continue to, and I do not take it for granted. I had no idea that would happen, and it is truly because of you all. And if there's any reminder of how powerful you all are, you kept her alive for 8 seasons. So I'm turning it back on you and saying thank you.
It was pretty epic. It's pretty epic.
I see what you did there.
Epic. Okay, we have time for one more question, and we have to answer it pretty quickly because we're actually running overtime, but I'm a rule breaker.
Rebel.
Hi. Well, I appreciate that. My name is Sara. I'm from the Outer Banks, North Carolina. And my question is for Marguerite. I just want to know, like, what your favorite, like, Sheriff Forbes and Caroline Forbes moment was in the entire series. Or I guess, you know.
I liked all the time there was tension because I felt like that was really real, but I think it was, I can't even remember what the scene, I couldn't tell you any lines from the scene where the first acceptance scene where it's like the I love you scene, it's like when dad's dead and all this stuff is going on and it's like, she's my girl, like that just, I actually thought I would die after that. I'm like, well, you've just done an entire, that's it. You don't need Sheriff Forbes anymore. So I felt lucky that I still got to be on for a few seasons. But I felt like that was this huge payoff, you know, and yeah, I think that's my short answer.
That scene where Caroline just has like the blood pouring out of her mouth and she's just like, hi, Mom. Like, oh, so good. Thank you. That's a really good way to end the parent panel. Hi, Mom.
Thank you, everyone.